The Bucks have officially arrived. Last night versus the Magic, Giannis was absolutely unstoppable. He dropped 37 points while shooting an incredible 15 of 24 from the field. That's 22 straight games for Giannis, with at least 20 points on 50% shooting or better. This guy isn't just great, he's rewriting history. It's the longest streak to open a season ever, and the third longest at any point in league history. Only Shaquille O'Neal and Zion Williamson have gone longer, with 25 games each. Damian Lillard did what he does best, closing out games like a superstar. He scored 9 of his 28 points in the final minute, showing everyone why he's one of the best in crunch time. The offense looked smoother than ever, with Dame and Chris Middleton running the show. Giannis played through them more, conserving his energy while still dominating. It's a brilliant balance that makes this team so dangerous. Chris Middleton deserves so much credit for his playmaking. In the third quarter, he completely took over as the floor general, making everything click. Watching him and Giannis find their rhythm together is pure basketball poetry. It's been a process, but wow, it's paying off now. Bobby Portis came out firing in the first half, keeping the Bucks in the game when things weren't clicking. He hit his first 7 shots and ended the night with 22 points and 10 rebounds. Bobby's energy was contagious, and his ability to erase that early 11-point deficit was critical. He's been up and down this season, but games like this show just how valuable he is. Let's not forget about Green's defensive hustle. Even when his shot wasn't falling, he stayed aggressive and made key plays. He's a dog in every sense, just fearless out there. This team has found something special lately, winning 9 of their last 11 games. They're now heading to the NBA Cup semifinals for the second straight year, the only team to return from last year's tournament. That's consistency, and it speaks volumes about their grit and talent. The last 5 seconds of this game, pure chaos. Giannis calmly sank 2 free throws to seal the deal, but it felt like those seconds stretched into eternity. That's playoff-level intensity in a December game. It's clear the Bucks are firing on all cylinders right now. Giannis is unstoppable. Dame's clutch. Chris is in rhythm. Bobby's bringing the energy, and the whole team is locked in. This squad is built for something big. Here's the thing. Like I mentioned, they're 9-2 in their last 11. If you take only that section, it really is impressive how great they've been. Their last 11 games have showcased just how dominant and versatile they are, both as a starting lineup and a bench unit. Let's dive right into the numbers and see what makes them so incredible. Offensively, they're lighting it up. They're ranked 10th in points per game, which already shows their ability to score efficiently. But what really stands out is their shooting efficiency, 4th in field goal percentage and 1st in 3-point percentage. That's not just good, that's elite. They've also nailed the 4th most 3-pointers in the league, proving they're not just about volume, but also accuracy. From the corners, they're absolutely unstoppable. They're the best in the league at hitting left corner threes and second best from the right corner, just behind the Denver Nuggets. Overall, they're number 1 in corner 3-point percentage, and even when they step above the break, they're still 5th in 3-point percentage. That's the kind of shooting depth most teams can only dream about. Mid-range, they've got that covered too. They're second only to the Sacramento Kings in makes from mid-range and 3rd in mid-range field goal percentage. When you're hitting from everywhere on the floor like this, it's no wonder their effective field goal percentage and true shooting percentage are both ranked 3rd in the league. Defensively, they're making opponents work for everything. They're 10th in blocks per game and 6th in blocks allowed, showing that they're protecting the paint while staying disciplined. They're also 5th in contesting 2-point shots, making sure opponents don't get easy looks inside. On top of that, they're 4th best at preventing second chance points, which is huge in terms of controlling the game. The hustle stats are just as impressive. They're 9th in offensive loose ball recovery percentage, meaning they're scrapping and winning those 50-50 plays that can swing momentum. This team is relentless, and it shows in how they're affecting every aspect of the game. Their bench has been a massive difference maker too. They're leading the league in 3-pointers made and 3-point percentage. Yes, even the bench is shooting lights out. They're also 4th in free throw percentage and defensive rebounds per game, showing that they're contributing on both ends of the floor. And they're plus-minus 4th in the league. That's the sign of a bench that's not just holding leads, but extending them. The numbers tell the story of a team that's clicking on all cylinders. Offensively, defensively, and in those gritty hustle plays, the Bucks have been nothing short of spectacular over this stretch. It's clear they're not just racking up wins. They're doing it in style, with efficiency and depth that make them one of the scariest teams in the league right now. Also, if you guys enjoy these deep dives, I'll be posting every day during this season. I genuinely appreciate if you could subscribe. Thanks. Anyways, the Bucks. The thing is, they have some players who have been playing out of their minds, and all Bucks fans know. We have to start with AJ Green. AJ Green has been incredible for the Milwaukee Bucks this season, and it's easy to see why he's making such an impact. His shooting from beyond the arc has been absolutely lights out, hitting an eye-popping 48.3% of his three-point attempts. That kind of accuracy is rare, and it's exactly what the Bucks need to complement their superstar, Giannis. When Giannis drives to the hoop, defenses collapse, leaving shooters wide open on the perimeter. And when AJ Green gets those kick-out passes, he's not hesitating. He's letting it fly and making teams pay for leaving him open. Green has been particularly deadly when receiving passes from Giannis. He's made 14 of 29 three-point attempts off those setups, matching his overall shooting percentage from deep. That's consistency at its finest. But what really makes him stand out is his confidence. Green's release is so quick and smooth that defenders barely have time to react. He's always ready to shoot, and his ability to capitalize on those opportunities has turned him into a legitimate weapon for Milwaukee. Now, Green's shooting alone would be enough to keep him in the rotation, but he's bringing more to the table than just his offense. His defense has been a game changer. At 6'4" and 200 pounds, he's got the physicality to take on tough defensive assignments, and he's done it well this season. Sure, he's not locking down every star he faces, but he's making them work for their points, and that effort has been invaluable for the Bucks. Take his performances against Boston's Jason Tatum, for example. Over 3 games, Green held Tatum to just 7 points on 3 of 9 shooting, forcing 2 turnovers. That's no small feat against one of the league's premier scorers. Or look at his matchups with Detroit's Cade Cunningham. In 2 games, Green limited him to 8 points on 2 of 7 shooting. These are the kinds of efforts that don't always show up in highlight reels, but make a massive difference in games. Doc Rivers, who's clearly impressed by Green, has trusted him in key moments all season long. Green is earning those minutes not just with his shooting, but with his ability to contribute on both ends of the floor. Last night's game against the Orlando Magic was another example. Green played 33 minutes, scoring 9 points, grabbing 4 rebounds, and adding 2 assists and a block. Even when his shot isn't falling as much as usual, he's finding ways to contribute and help the team. Green's consistency as a shooter has been remarkable. He's connected on multiple three-pointers in 8 straight games, providing the kind of floor spacing that Milwaukee has been searching for. This reliability has allowed him to leapfrog players, and with his defensive capabilities, the Bucks don't have to worry about hiding him on that end of the floor, a problem they often had with previous sharpshooters like Kyle Korver and Bryn Forbes. Those guys could shoot, no doubt about it, but their defense was always a concern. Opposing teams would target them, making it tough for Milwaukee to play them in critical moments. With Green, that's not an issue. He's holding his own defensively, which means the Bucks can keep him on the court when it matters most. That balance between offense and defense is what's making Green so valuable this season. On the stat sheet, Green is averaging 8 points, 2.1 rebounds, and nearly 1 assist per game. Those numbers might not jump off the page, but his efficiency and the way he impacts games go far beyond the box score. He's a perfect fit for this Bucks team, providing the shooting and defense they need to compete at the highest level. It's also worth noting how much Green's confidence has grown. He's not just playing a role, he's thriving in it. His quick decision-making, whether it's taking a shot or sticking to his defensive assignment, has been a huge boost for Milwaukee. And his breakout season is proving that he's more than just a shooter. Green's effort on defense, combined with his incredible shooting, is helping the Bucks find their groove after a slow start to the season. This season, AJ Green has become a critical piece of the Bucks' rotation. His ability to stretch the floor, combined with his defensive toughness, is exactly what the team needs. Whether he's drilling threes or making life tough for opposing stars, Green is proving he belongs in this league. And if he keeps playing like this, he's going to be a key factor in Milwaukee's success moving forward. But then following him, we have to talk about Giannis. Giannis is playing at an absolutely mind-blowing level this season. He's leading the league in scoring with an insane 32.7 points per game, while also pulling down 11.4 rebounds and dishing out 6 assists every night. Those numbers aren't just great, they're downright historic. And what makes it even crazier, he's doing it all while shooting 61.2% from the field, which ranks 5th in the entire league. That kind of production is almost unheard of, especially for someone carrying the offensive load he does. For years, teams have tried to stop Giannis with the same defensive strategy. build a wall. Coaches would stack multiple defenders in front of him, blocking his path to the rim and daring him to shoot jumpers. It made some sense at the time. Giannis, after all, is a career 28.6% shooter from beyond the arc. But here's the thing. Those days are over. This season, the wall strategy isn't just ineffective, it's completely useless because Giannis has developed a mid-range game that's as deadly as it is consistent. Let's talk about that mid-range shot because it's a game changer. Giannis is hitting 49% of his mid-range attempts from 14 feet or more. To put that into perspective, he's now in elite company. Among big men, only guys like Miles Turner and Kevin Durant are putting up similar numbers from that range. And Giannis has taken 74 shots from mid-range, making 36 of them. That's not a small sample. It's a legitimate weapon in his offensive arsenal. It's wild to think that Giannis has developed a mid-range game that puts him in the same conversation as Durant, one of the greatest shooters we've ever seen. What's even more impressive is how seamlessly he's incorporated this shot into his game. Early in the shot clock, if defenders give him space, Giannis will dribble into the mid-range jumper without hesitation. It's smooth, confident, and so effective that it leaves defenders completely helpless. He's added this changeup to his already devastating downhill attacks, making him nearly impossible to guard. Think about it. If you sag off him, he'll drain the jumper. If you press up, he'll blow by you for an easy finish at the rim. There's no winning strategy anymore. This shift in his offensive game has also led to a noticeable change in his shot selection. Giannis's three-point attempts have dropped dramatically this season, down to just 3.6% of his total shots. That's a massive dip from his career average of 14.6%. And honestly, why would he keep chucking threes when he's dominating the paint and now punishing teams with the killer mid-range jumper? The math is simple. 49% on mid-range shots is better than 74% at the rim when it means keeping defenses guessing and breaking down their schemes. What I love most about this evolution in his game is how it's unlocked a new level of dominance for Giannis. He's always been a freight train in transition and a nightmare to stop when attacking downhill. But now, with his mid-range shot in the mix, he's more unpredictable than ever. Defenders used to at least have some hope by building that wall and daring him to shoot. Now they don't have any answers. If you give him space, he'll make you pay. If you play up on him, he'll drive right by. It's almost unfair how unstoppable he's become. And let's not forget that Giannis is still a force on the defensive end. His defensive dominance hasn't slipped at all. Whether he's protecting the rim, switching onto guards, or contesting shots on the perimeter, Giannis continues to anchor Milwaukee's defense. His ability to impact both ends of the floor is what makes him such a unique and valuable player. It's hard to find anyone else in the league who can dominate a game the way he does on both offense and defense. Right now, I'd say he's either first or second in the MVP race, alongside Nikola Jokic. He's doing everything for the Bucks, and he's doing it at a level that's nearly impossible to match. Watching him this season has been an absolute treat, and it feels like he's adding new layers to his game every time he steps on the court. What's even more exciting is that Giannis's improvement feels sustainable. He's not relying on hot streaks or luck. He's genuinely developed into a better shooter, a more complete scorer, and an even smarter player. He's not just using his physical gifts to overpower opponents. He's outthinking and outskilling them too. That's what makes this season so special. He's evolving right before our eyes, and it's terrifying for the rest of the league. His rise as a mid-range threat has also made Milwaukee even tougher to beat. The Bucks were already one of the top teams in the league, but now, with Giannis playing at this level, they're a legitimate title contender. He's the engine that drives everything they do, and his ability to score from anywhere on the court has opened up so many opportunities for his teammates. The defense has to pay so much attention to him that it creates space for everyone else, and the Bucks are thriving because of it. Watching Giannis this season has been nothing short of incredible. He's already accomplished so much in his career: 2 MVPs, a Defensive Player of the Year award, and a championship. But this version of him feels like something entirely new. He's taken his game to heights that I didn't even think were possible, and it's making basketball so much fun to watch. If he keeps this up, there's no telling how far the Bucks can go this season. They're a powerhouse, and Giannis is the reason why. But then we need to talk about Chris Middleton and his return. Middleton being back in the Bucks lineup is a game changer. After a tough offseason with surgeries on both ankles and missing the first 21 games, Middleton's return is already making an impact. His debut against the Celtics might not have lit up the stat sheet. 11 points on 2 for 10 shooting in limited minutes, but his presence alone shifted the team's flow. Even against Boston's suffocating defense, the Bucks' offense looked more organized when Chris was on the floor. Middleton's versatility is what makes him so valuable. He's a scorer, a playmaker, and a solid defender. This team missed that dynamic early in the season, especially against tough opponents like Cleveland. The Cavaliers are no pushover, and Middleton's ability to do a bit of everything adds another layer to Milwaukee's game. It's not just about scoring points, it's how he elevates everyone around him and balances the offense. One of the most exciting things about Middleton is how he unlocks Giannis's off-ball game. Giannis is already unstoppable, but when Chris is on the court, it frees him up to play in different ways. Giannis doesn't always need to bring the ball up or initiate the offense. With Middleton finding him for easy looks, Giannis can focus on cutting, posting up, or dominating the paint. Their chemistry is unreal and makes Milwaukee so tough to guard. But Chris isn't just a supporting player for Giannis. He's a star in his own right. Over his career, Middleton has averaged 16.8 points, 4.8 rebounds, and 4 assists per game. He's the kind of consistent scorer who thrives in big moments, and he's never been afraid to take clutch shots. Middleton has proven time and again that he can step up when it matters most, especially in the playoffs. What makes Middleton's return even more exciting is how he fits alongside Damian Lillard. With Dame now in Milwaukee, the Bucks' offense has a new dimension. Lillard and Giannis have already built incredible chemistry as a 1-2 punch, but Middleton adds even more firepower. His ability to score, create, and spread the floor makes it nearly impossible for defenses to focus on just one player. Opposing teams have to pick their battles, and with Middleton back, they're in for a rough time. Middleton's defense often gets overlooked, but it's another key part of what he brings to the team. He might not be the flashiest defender, but he's smart, disciplined, and capable of guarding multiple positions. Against the league's elite wings, his defensive IQ and effort are crucial. Whether he's contesting shots, staying in front of his man, or making the right rotation, Middleton knows how to make an impact on both ends of the floor. The Bucks aren't just playing for regular season wins, they're aiming for another deep playoff run. Middleton's presence is essential to that goal. He's been through the battles before and knows what it takes to win at the highest level. His ability to step up in clutch moments, both offensively and defensively, will be key as the Bucks gear up for the postseason. Watching Middleton get back into form is going to be a treat. He's still shaking off the rust after his extended absence, but the flashes are already there. Once he's fully healthy and back in rhythm, the Bucks will be even more dangerous. They've already shown how good they can be with Giannis and Dame leading the way, but Middleton completes the puzzle. This team has championship aspiration, and Chris Middleton is a massive part of why those aspirations are realistic. His scoring, playmaking, and ability to elevate his teammates make him one of the most important players in Milwaukee's lineup. With him back, the Bucks are one step closer to becoming the dominant force they're built to be. But after him, we can talk about Lillard. Damian Lillard has been exactly what the Milwaukee Bucks needed this season. When they traded for him, they were looking for a superstar who could step up in big moments, especially when it matters most in the playoff. And so far, Lillard has proven he's more than capable of doing just that. Lillard's stats speak for themselves. He's averaging 25.8 points per game, ranking 10th in the league in scoring. He's also averaging 7.6 assists per game, which puts him in the top 10 for that category as well. On top of that, he's shooting a solid 45.4% from the field. But these numbers don't tell the whole story. It's his ability to step up when the game is on the line that has really made a difference for the Bucks. Lillard is a proven clutch performer, and this season, he's continued to show why he's one of the best in the game when the pressure is at its peak. When games are tied or teams are behind with 5 minutes or less remaining in the fourth quarter, Lillard ranks 9th in the league for points per game in those situations. That's the kind of player the Bucks need when the game is close, especially in high-pressure moments. In the past, the Bucks have struggled to close out tight games, but Lillard changes that. He's their go-to guy in those crunch time moments, providing the leadership and skill they've been missing in past playoff runs. Take the game against the Orlando Magic, for example. The Magic were surging, and they couldn't find an answer for Lillard's clutch play. It wasn't just the big shots he made, although those were crucial. Lillard kept the Bucks composed during the final minutes of the game, orchestrating the offense with the kind of veteran savvy you expect from a player of his caliber. Even when he wasn't scoring, he made sure the Bucks got quality possessions, and his gravity on the floor opened up opportunities for his teammates. That's what a true leader does. He doesn't need to score every time. He just needs to make sure his team is in the best position to succeed. This is exactly why the Bucks went after Lillard. They didn't need him to pad his stats or win games in the regular season. They brought him in to be the closer they've needed in the postseason. For a team with championship aspirations, having a guy like Lillard who can hit game winners and deliver in the clutch is a huge asset. In past playoff exits, the Bucks have been caught in situations where they needed someone to step up in the final moments, and that's where Lillard shines. And let's not forget about how he fits with Giannis. Giannis is undoubtedly the engine of the Bucks, but Lillard brings something completely different to the table. While Giannis dominates with his athleticism and unstoppable drives to the basket, Lillard is the calm and collected closer who can take over when it's time to finish games. Together, they create an absolute nightmare for opposing defenses. Giannis can operate off the ball, knowing that Lillard is out there creating opportunities, whether it's for himself or his teammates. Lillard has the ability to find Giannis for easy looks, and that connection is already paying off in a big way. Lillard's veteran presence and poise are exactly what the Bucks have needed in those high-pressure moments. It's not just about the numbers, it's about his impact on the floor and how he elevates the entire team's play in clutch situations. Against Orlando, Lillard showed that he's not afraid of the big moments. He kept Milwaukee calm, composed, and in control down the stretch, and his ability to dictate the flow of the game has been invaluable. Now, let's talk about why Lillard was brought in. The Bucks didn't trade for him just to boost their regular season stats or have a fun scoring outburst here and there. No, they brought him in to make sure they could get past the Eastern Conference's best and ultimately compete for an NBA title. The Eastern Conference is full of tough competition, with teams like the Boston Celtics, the Philadelphia 76ers, and others ready to make life difficult for Milwaukee. In fact, Lillard's ability to step up in big moments has already been on display in a simulated playoff atmosphere. The Bucks wanted to make sure he was ready for that kind of pressure, and he's delivered every step of the way. His ability to hit big shots, keep the offense flowing, and stay composed under pressure is exactly why Milwaukee made this move in the first place. Lillard doesn't shy away from the moment. He embraces it, and that's the kind of mentality the Bucks need in the postseason. So, as the Bucks continue their journey through the season, it's clear that Lillard's impact will be felt. With him on the floor, they have one of the most dangerous backcourts in the league. And with Giannis leading the charge in the paint and Lillard taking care of business in crunch time, the Bucks are looking like an even more formidable team. If Lillard keeps playing like this, the Bucks' chances of going all the way in the playoffs are looking better and better. Lillard has already proved he's a perfect fit for this team. His scoring, leadership, and ability to close games are exactly what the Bucks needed to get over the hump and into championship contention. The sky's the limit for this team if Lillard continues to rise to the occasion. After him, though, I want to talk about Gary Trent. Gary Trent Jr. has been absolutely incredible for the Milwaukee Bucks this season. He's been the kind of player they've needed for a while now, someone who can pick up the slack when their stars are struggling. In recent seasons, the Bucks have often been in a tough spot when their main players weren't hitting shots, but Trent has been a real difference maker this year. Instead of just relying on Giannis or Damian Lillard to carry the load every single night, Trent has shown he can step up and fill the gaps. The best part, the Bucks picked up Trent on a minimum contract, and it's looking more and more like one of the best moves of the offseason. Early on, Trent struggled a little in the starting lineup, much like the rest of the team, but once he was moved to the bench on November 7th, it's been like a switch flipped for him. Since then, he's been averaging 10.1 points, 2.4 rebounds, an assist, and a steal, with some ridiculous shooting splits. 48.5% from the field, 49.3% from three, and a crazy 88.9% from the free throw line. That's some seriously efficient shooting for a guy coming off the bench. What's been really fun to watch is how much more freedom Trent has had in this bench role. When he was in the starting lineup, he was often relegated to catch and shoot opportunities. But now that he's coming off the bench, he has the chance to create his own shots and do more. His offensive game has blossomed as a result, and he's proving to be a real problem for opposing defenses. Whether it's hitting threes, driving to the basket, or hitting mid-range jumpers, he's got it all in his arsenal. In Brooklyn, he finished with 20 points, hitting 6 of his 10 shots from the field, including 3 of 7 from deep. And don't forget, he made all 5 of his free throws. That's the kind of efficiency the Bucks need from him off the bench. Trent's performance hasn't just been a nice bonus, it's been a crucial part of the Bucks' success. When Giannis dropped 34 points against Brooklyn, but Lillard struggled offensively, Trent stepped up in a big way. Chris Middleton is still trying to get back to full strength after his return, and having someone like Trent who can score and contribute on both ends has been a godsend. The Bucks have needed this kind of depth, and now they've got it. Having a player who can provide a scoring boost when the starters are off is something they've been missing in previous seasons. What's also been impressive is how Trent's defense has held up. He's not necessarily locking down his opponent, but he's doing a solid job on that end of the floor. He's holding opponents to 46.7% shooting from the field, which puts him right in the middle of the pack with the rest of the Bucks players. It's not flashy, but it's enough to help the team, and that's exactly what they need from him. His defense is an important part of why the Bucks have been so successful this season. The Bucks don't need him to be a lockdown defender. They just need him to hold his own, and he's doing that. What's even more exciting is how Trent has been working in tandem with AJ Green. The two of them have been a real problem for opposing defenses. Green and Trent both have the ability to shoot lights out from beyond the arc, and together, they're a dangerous duo. In Brooklyn, Trent was one of the key reasons the Bucks were able to secure the win. His scoring, combined with Green's shooting, gave the Bucks an offensive boost that they desperately needed. And let's not forget how valuable it is that Trent is doing all of this on a minimum contract. The Bucks hit the jackpot with that one. For a player who can come in and contribute like he has, getting him at that price is a massive win. It gives the Bucks more flexibility to make moves elsewhere, while still getting solid production from one of their key role players. That contract is a steal, and as the season goes on, it's only going to look better. Looking ahead, it'll be interesting to see how the rotations evolve once Middleton gets back to full health and finds his rhythm. The Bucks are going to have some tough decisions to make with the rotation, especially with how well Trent has been playing. But as of now, he's been a key piece in the Bucks' success. His ability to score efficiently, his solid defense, and his ability to pick up the slack when the stars are off have made him an invaluable asset. Having Trent come off the bench gives the Bucks so much flexibility. When one of the starters is having a tough night, they can rely on Trent to step up and take over. It's not just about his scoring either. He's got that ability to play solid defense and do whatever the team needs him to do. He's been the kind of player the Bucks have needed to complement their stars, and his presence on the team makes them that much more dangerous. Gary Trent Jr. has been exactly what the Bucks needed. They've got a guy who can score in a variety of ways, hold his own defensively, and contribute at a high level off the bench. His impact has been huge, and the Bucks are lucky to have him on such a good deal. As the season progresses, Trent is only going to become more of a key player for the Bucks as they push for a championship. With his current form, it's clear that he's going to be a big part of their success this season. But besides all these great players, Bobby Portis has been extremely confusing. Bobby Portis has been struggling this season, and it's been hard to miss. Known for his energy, hustle, and ability to impact both ends of the floor, Portis has had a tough time finding his groove. His performance has been inconsistent, and his decline has become more noticeable as the season has gone on. But here's the thing. If he can turn things around, the Bucks will be even better, and they'll have a deeper, more reliable bench. Let's talk about his most recent game against the Magic. Portis dropped 22 points, shooting an impressive 9 out of 11 from the field, including 2 of 3 from beyond the arc. He also grabbed 10 rebounds and dished out 4 assists. That's the kind of performance the Bucks need from him. When Portis is on like this, he brings so much to the table. Scoring, rebounding, playmaking, it's all there. But those types of performances have been rare this season, and that's what makes it so frustrating. A big issue for Portis has been his shooting. He's hitting just 32.4% from 3 this season, a significant drop from his 40.7% last year. That's a noticeable dip, and it has hurt the Bucks offensively. He used to be a reliable shooter, especially from beyond the arc, but that's been missing this year. When Portis isn't hitting those outside shots, it affects the entire offense. His spacing isn't as effective, and that causes the Bucks offense to bog down. And it's not just his shooting that's been a concern. Portis has always had streaky defense, but this season, it's been a real issue. Opponents have been targeting him in pick and rolls, and he struggled to stay in front of quicker guards or contest shots at the rim. His defense has become a liability in certain matchups, and that's hurt the team's overall performance. The Bucks' net rating with Portis on the floor has been a big negative, and his defensive struggles are a big reason why. With Portis unable to guard the way he used to, it puts more pressure on the rest of the team to pick up the slack. That said, it's important not to forget what Portis brings when he's on top of his game. While his defense has been shaky and his offense inconsistent, Portis is still capable of being the spark plug that gets this team going. We've seen flashes of it, like in that game against the Magic. When he plays with energy, the Bucks feed off of it, and he can turn the momentum in their favor. The The same energy that made him a fan favorite during the Bucks' 2021 championship run is still there. If he can just get back to being that guy, he'll provide the lift the team needs. Rebounding is another area where Portis used to thrive, but this season, even that has been a little off. While he's still grabbing rebounds, they often feel less impactful. It's not leading to second chance points or creating stops on the other end like it used to. The Bucks need Portis to bring that aggressive, physical play on the boards. When he's rebounding at a high level, he helps the team extend possessions and create extra opportunities. If Portis can get back to dominating on the glass, it'll make a huge difference in the team's overall success. But let's not lose sight of the fact that Portis still has a lot of potential to turn things around. He's shown glimpses of his old self, and with the right adjustments, he could be back to his best. The Bucks need him to consistently play at a high level, and if he does, he'll provide a much-needed boost to the team. Portis has always been a streaky player, but when he's on, and that's the version the Bucks need. Portis' struggles have become even more significant given his contract situation. He's in the third year of a 4-year, $48 million deal, and for a team like the Bucks, who have limited cap space, they can't afford to have an underperforming player eating up a big chunk of their budget. If Portis can get back to playing like he did during the championship run, that deal will look a lot better. His ability to produce at a high level will help make that contract more manageable and less of a burden on the team's finances. One of the more frustrating aspects of Portis' struggle is that his minutes are taking away opportunities for younger players to get playing time. The Bucks have promising talent in players like Chris Livingston, Tyler Smith, and even some fringe guys like Liam Robbins, but they don't get the consistent minutes they need with Portis in the rotation. If Portis can rediscover his form and earn his place in the lineup, it'll open up more opportunities for those younger players to develop. Portis has always been a player with great heart and determination. We've seen it time and time again, whether it was his relentless play during the Bucks' playoff run or his infectious energy on the bench. But that energy and hustle need to be channeled into consistent, high-level play. If he can get back to playing like he did in the past, he'll be a huge asset for the team. The Bucks need Portis to bring that energy, scoring, and rebounding every night. If he does, they'll be even more dangerous. It's not all over for Bobby Portis. He's a talented player with plenty of heart, and if he can find that spark again, the Bucks will benefit in a big way. When he plays like himself, he adds a valuable dimension to this team. If he can get back to his best, the Bucks will be that much stronger moving forward, and Portis will be right there with them, helping them chase their next championship. But quickly, I want to end by talking about Prince. Prince has been an absolute revelation for the Bucks this season. When he signed on a minimum deal, the expectation was clear. He was going to be the Jay Crowder replacement and offer that much needed wing defense. But here's the kicker. He's doing that and more. Prince is currently leading the entire NBA in three-point percentage with an insane 56.6%. Yep, you heard that right. He's shooting better than even Nikola Jokic, who's sitting at 52.2%. That's a huge bonus for the Bucks, and it's making them even harder to defend. The crazy thing is, it's not like he's slacking off on the defensive side either. Prince has still been bringing the intensity that the Bucks were hoping for when they signed him. It's not like his shooting has come at the cost of defense. Oh no, he's still been a menace on that end of the floor too. His personal defensive rating is sitting at 114, which is back to where it should be after a couple of off years in Minnesota and Los Angeles. And while opponents are shooting 48.2% on him, you have to consider the tough matchups he's been facing. These are not easy guys to defend. And yet, he's still been solid. Look, let's talk numbers for a second. Prince has always been a career 38.2% three-point shooter, and his best season was in 2020 when he shot 40% from deep. While there may be a slight dip in his shooting at some point, let's not forget that he's still getting great looks thanks to the attention Giannis and Damian Lillard attract. With those two creating space and drawing defenders, Prince has been the perfect beneficiary. His ability to knock down open shots consistently is something the Bucks have been desperately needing, and he's been absolutely delivering. But here's the exciting part. If Prince can keep this up, the Bucks will just get better and better. Seriously, imagine the impact if his shooting stays this hot and he continues to play solid defense. He's a legitimate weapon now, and that makes the Bucks even more dangerous. The versatility he provides with both his shooting and his defense is a game changer, and it's giving them another option on the court. Opponents can't leave him open on the perimeter anymore. If they do, it's lights out. He'll just keep draining those threes. With his recent form, it's clear that Prince is a perfect fit for what the Bucks need right now. He's providing scoring from beyond the arc while still holding his own defensively. If he can maintain this high level of play, the Bucks are going to be even tougher to beat. This kind of performance from Prince makes their offense more potent and their defense more well-rounded. And that's exactly what they need as they chase that ultimate goal. If Prince keeps playing like this, the Bucks are going to have a legit three-point shooter on their hands. And on top of that, a guy who can contribute to the defense as well. Talk about a win-win. His ability to do it all is what the Bucks need to take their game to the next level. Overall, though, the Bucks started their season a bit slow, but man, have they turned it around. Giannis is back to his MVP level play and is looking like a serious contender again. He's been unstoppable, dominating on both ends of the floor, and his impact is undeniable. Middleton is also back to full health, and that's been huge. He's adding that extra scoring and playmaking ability, making the Bucks' offense even more dangerous. And then there's Damian Lillard. He's been clutch. Lillard's ability to hit big shots in crunch time is exactly what the Bucks need. His leadership and experience have been paying off, especially in close games. But the real exciting part, if Lillard really gets into his groove and plays like the Damian Lillard we all know, the Bucks are going to be even better. Imagine him finding his rhythm with Giannis and Middleton already playing at a high level. This team is going to be nearly impossible to stop. With these three playing at their best, the Bucks are a nightmare matchup for any team. Their offense is clicking, their defense is solid, and they're looking like one of the best teams in the league again. If Lillard keeps stepping up, watch out. If you guys enjoyed this, I'll be posting every day during this season. I genuinely appreciate if you could subscribe. Thanks for watching.